These ones, once they give us money, the day a certain politician come and give us money, you'll see, we'll be saying Mang is a good person. We won't be inviting Boss Mangma because that will be captured.
I said we need to have a business forum, a business summit. We don't have to go to business people because of we need to give them our vision, to have a summit and say, here's our vision and mission. Now we need you to come on board so that you empower, young people.
Empower financial. Because now already we have brains and Gala, my name is Lalas Kholo, aka Motoko Bandala Satsar Koli, Chamakamu, Chamakamu. Oh, show Togele Pologan. As always, I'm not alone. I'm with Lee, my sunflower.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Kasi Uncover. Today, we have an interesting guest, and I am really looking forward to the conversations that we are about to have here. Welcome to the show, Mr. Scelo.
I hope you're well. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah.
We're also happy to have you. Mr. Scelo, I don't know, before Mina causing Gena Pagati inside, yes. But would you like to tell us who Mr. Scelo is and what is he known for in Diepsloot?
I'm a leader in the community and also an activist. I started to participate in community activities far back when we arrived in Diepsloot. I was young then. In 1995. Remember, Diepsloot started actually before 1995, but when we arrived in Diepsloot, it was the year 1995. But just after the national general election in 1994. So when people from Zevenfontein were relocated from that area to Diepsloot, there was a process that which was followed, by the way, which qualifies people who wants to come to Diepsloot, because others didn't want to come to Diepsloot. So those that were willing to come to Diepsloot, they were given the red card. We used to call them verification card. Yes.
You qualify a good to Diepsloot.
Yes. So if you didn't have that verification card, you were not allowed to come to Diepsloot. Remember, Diepsloot, there were security officers in both entrances.
The entrance over there, say number 2.
The number 2. The other one was this one from the side of the northern farm.
Oh, okay. Yes.
There were 2 entrances.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. So security officers were posted, near what you call the shop, the Dawn, in extension 8.
Oh, Dawns.
The Dawns. So there were security officers. And then others were posted just adjacent to the police station. You see the entrance when you come to Diepsloot from that direction. Yes.
So, I'm gonna ask our security manje. Like we need them more now than we need it. Well, what's your take, Lee?
Well, all of us, let me say then we wanted this security to, remain there. But because of, a democratic system, we were no longer allowed to have security because people were not happy. They were saying we are not free. So why should we have security? Remember, crime then was not as it is now. Yes, everybody, because it was easy for you to walk at night, and the police station was far from Diepsloot. Yes, because the only police station which was police in this area was Erasmia police station.
Oh, okay. Where is the Erasmia?
Yeah, Erasmia police station. Used to, it's not far from what do you call this area?
The direction of
as you go to Pretoria.
Oh,
we were under Pretoria.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yes, even people who were arrested in Diepsloot used to go to Pretoria.
So back to the security guards that were here in Diepsloot, Mr. Scelo, who were paying them? Because I'm guessing they can't work for free.
They were paid by the Northern MSC. Remember, it was a transitional period. We didn't have what we call the city of Johannesburg municipality. We had those small municipalities which we used to call Northern MLC, Northern Johannesburg Metropolitan Council.
Oh.
Yes. So it was a municipality that is responsible for the northern.
Oh, yes.
Because it was situated in Johannesburg.
Oh,
yes. The former mayor was Demkeka.
Oh.
Yes. I still remember some of them. I think Ruby Matau was also in Johannesburg.
Oh.
Yes. The big porter who was responsible for human settlement. Then it was called housing department in the Northern MSC. Well, in a transitional period, everybody, were very happy to say we are now entering into a new era whereby everyone is free, to go wherever you want to go. Then the system of apartheid was abolished by the democratic government. So we then started to sit together, black and white, to use the same toilet and so on. And even sharing the shop, because it was not, something happening, in the apartheid, government. Black were using, other toilets, and white as well.
Yes. I don't even think
so. Now, the democratic government then started to, to unite people, to bring people together, regardless of color of skin, then we became a one nation.
Now, when you ask people why there's so much crime, high rate of crime, they tell you it's poverty. Some can even stand and be like, leave them because they are poor. Now it's like it's a license to go and steal because you are poor.
No, it's not even a license or anything. Let's be honest. People are poor. People are hungry. And when you are hungry, you get frustrated, you can do anything. You can't even think with an empty stomach.
You can steal. you go and steal.
You know, the circumstances, by the way, forces you.
I pray he's never getting poor.
It's not because it is not because you want to, but there is something that pushes you, which is the circumstances that you are facing. You know, that push you to do crime. You know, to go and steal, because you know, when you are unable to even put food on the table, the first thing to do, you'll say, okay, I'll do everything that I can.
Exactly.
Yeah, to put food on the table.
It's not for luxury.
They kill for hunger. They kill people in Diepsloot.
Yes, they do.
They kill for hunger because they're hungry. Someone has to lose their life.
No.
What are you saying? Actually, guys?
I think it's something that we are not, you know, encouraging. But the circumstances sometimes, when you think through the eye of the needle, you can see that people, sometimes the situation push them to do wrong things. You know, when there's less employment opportunities, if we have an economic growth of the country that does not contribute in terms of, you know, creating job opportunities, what do you expect? Do you expect poverty? You expect a lot of diseases, you see, and you obviously will expect crime.
I wouldn't expect.
What would you expect?
Because when there's less job opportunities and people want job, you expect what? Poverty.
Yeah.
And when there's poverty, there's a lot of disease. And when there's a lot of disease, there's hunger. People are starving. People do everything to make sure that they put food on the table. We, you know, don't encourage that. However, we need to think out of the box to say what exactly the remedy, what is the cause of this. It means the economy, you know, of the country. It you know, even if it's growing, but it does not create jobs opportunities. Maybe let's look at the education. You know, do we have an education which helps young people of the country to be able to
participate in economic,
exactly, to participate either in the economy, you know, the economic activities of the country, because we need an education that will assist a young person, you know, to participate in the economy. Yes.
Not only as an employee, but also
exactly
as an
in terms of you know, creating those job opportunities. But now, the environment, as we are saying, young people, or we need an education which will assist the young person in this country to participate in the economic activities in the country. We need to check now the environment, because we need now a conducive environment for small business, you know, and who should be a catalyst for that? Obviously, is our representative in government, you know, who should ensure that that it does happen. You know, I have this you know, view to say all the small businesses must be supported either financially. Yes, you give them skills, but after you've given them skills, they need capital. You know, to start business, you need now to have a team, you know, which will make sure that whatever they've started, because government, if can put money in small business, needs to have someone or people that will make sure that those businesses are not collapsing until these people are able to run their business.
And that capital, why not? Because you're corner la Abu Minister of Finance would give the speech and be like financials, what, and then they have to distribute, allocate different fundings to different departments. One goes to health, one goes to education, one goes to small businesses, and all these things. And why does it not really reach people? Is it people they lack the knowledge on how to get it, or is it because I feel Baba apply?
Yeah, it's difficult. I don't think that people, even if they apply, they get that money. If we do have very few, but it perhaps, people that have access there who are not even in the township, because we cannot even point to one business in the township that was supported by those institutions which were created to assist small businesses in the community. So perhaps we need branches. I think we've got that department which is specifically to assist small businesses. Does that department have branches which are very close to? Maybe in a region, let's say in region A we have this department who should then advocate that
Funding to go
funding.
to the right.
Yes. So those are the things. But I think anyway, government tried, but I think in as much as government is trying, but I think we need to change the way in which we do things.
Because abangani bami bahamba bayo-apply, right? We once had a meeting with Miss Lindy Wezu when she was still the MEC of Small Business Enterprises, and then we went there and we had the conversation on the debate with the EFF members who were there. They asked questions about this whole thing. Why is the money not reaching the ground where the hustlers are at? And she left the interview before it was done because there's so many questions that she wasn't able to answer. Probably I'm thinking it was the matter of security, that there are some names that she would want to talk, but she couldn't take them out, or maybe there was just something that she didn't want to tell nobody. But the experience we had with the guy that we started small business with, and he went to apply for the funding. You know what happened? When they said they are approving the funding, he gets calls from people. The guy that was representing that whole process to me, and then he comes with his friends. Be like, they start calling him different numbers. Yeah, let's meet at this place. It's a meeting. It's me. I was there. You remember that day you came for funding. And then he went on that meeting. When they get there, and then that guy says that your thing is approved, but there are some people you have to get somebody from there, or else it won't get to the company. Before it gets to you, this one and this one and this one, you have to have a share of that money. But on that first meeting, that whole amount was supposed to go to the boy's small business because he's starting. He was starting an agency that deals with awarding and recognized artists and influencers in all the in Alexander community. But then it ended up going, because he was even told not to tell his own partner that he started the business with about this whole process. Now that things are changing because the money is coming. So we'll always have such people in there. And then that's crime. And you say that crime is there because of poverty, but those people are not poor.
I think we need to differentiate it. I think it's corruption.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, it's not really crime, but it's corruption.
Okay.
Yeah, because if let's say, because we do not have evidence of what we are discussing, it was alleged that there were people who would keep on calling him, and he even had a meeting.
Yeah,
you see, that was pure corruption.
Yeah,
you see, those people should actually be arrested if found.
Crime at Diepsloot again. no. A crime.
Yes, working, Lalas. Yes, working. What's causing the crime?
Crime, get drugs. Because most of the people that are stealing now, if you can ask them, or guys, are you stealing all these things? Are you breaking into our houses, taking our plasma, selling it, and taking money to your homes? Oh, their baby daddies, all of them are not even supporting their kids. Criminals that are here, these ones are Baba batoitia bayo becha.
Enough about crime. Enough about crime. Crime is very abroad. Enough about it. So fast forward. Let's talk about. I would like to talk about the men's.
Okay, before you even proceed to the next. The issue of crime. In Diepsloot, we have created, this element of crime ourselves. You see, we have we have actually contributed as citizens of this area. There are people who are renting. You don't even check whether these people committed crime somewhere else. Because we want money.
You don't even check if they are working.
You see, we then said, before you allow someone to, rent either a shacks to your own yard, to your property, get a copy of identification.
Okay.
You see, you must know these people. But because we had a problem, if someone passed on, only to find out you don't even know the relatives. Then we said, no. Before you allow someone to rent a shacks or a room, you must have get the information, get the identification either in a form of passport, ID. You should know these people. And so that whenever police want information about the people that are residing in your yard, you are in a position to produce, their documents to say these are the people. Police will then check if one of them is sometimes did crime somewhere else and ran to Diepsloot. Police were going to be able to say, but we need this person. You see, because it was going to assist to fight crime. It's just that at the time, at that particular juncture, the crime was very low. People then said, no, but you cannot decide who should rent the shacks in my yard because the property belongs to me. And you know what created this thing? It created a lot of informal settlement.
Yeah.
You see, most of the people that are residing in Extension 13 and other informal settlement started in our yard. We're renters. They were renting in our yard. You see, for an example, we take an informal settlement at MySunflower. The majority of them were renting because we're now no longer able to pay rent due to unemployment. If the job, comes to an end, then you decide to get any or to put or to erect a shed to any space that is. Yeah.
But another thing regarding that, Mr. Scelo, we did have a conversation with also, I think it was one of the politicians around here, leaders, that they did mention that in every space where we see there's a shack, one of the politicians or the leaders were involved in that. It's not like those people, they decided on their own that actually I'm going to plant my shack here. there was someone who was involved who like authorized or okay, yes, you can go stay there. Mainly because of the reasons that we are stating here. So politicians and the leaders, they are also part of the problem that we have today.
I agree because when we you know when times for elections are just around the corner, you know, but because the crime was low, then most of the people use that as their advantage to, you know.
But that's the problem that we have. We think for the short period of time. What about in the long run? Look at what's happening here. Because as it stands of today, we don't have the stats of the people that are staying in these informal settlements.
You know why? Some of them are undocumented.
Exactly.
You know.
So we have created this long-term problem because of the short-term period of time. People just wanted votes. They're like, okay, no, let's do this, let's do that. That is unfair. And also, how do you want vote from someone who's not from here, who can't even vote for you? That's also another thing. Like, how does that even help?
Remember, politicians are very clever. They will use someone who is, close to those people. To say, if you are residing, let's take an example. You are residing in Extension 13, and there is a piece of land which is not occupied. When I come as a politician, I'm just making an example, I would say you can use the space. I give you power. I don't personally do it, you know, and I give you, such powers to say no. You can't leave an empty land, which is adjacent to where you live. When people want space to live, you should do something. And now, once you start putting people there illegal, you want money.
Yes.
And that money doesn't sometimes go to a politician, But as a politician, I would say, no, I don't know.
For real.
I don't know anything, but because people are there. Now, it is, my responsibility as a politician to protect their rights, to say they've been there for quite a long time, more than 24 hours. Therefore, the constitution of this country allows them, to be given an alternative space. If you want to remove them or to move them, to remove them in a space that they've occupied illegally.
Yes.
Now, you are talking about human rights. Yes, I agree. People have occupied a land illegally, but they've got rights. They've got children. Now you need, as a government, it's a constitution. It says once people are occupied a piece of land more than 24 hours, you should now give them an alternative space.
We need to scrap this constitution. It's not working.
There's here
this
and
thing
there.
is this thing of human rights is like, because which kind of constitution which kind of constitution do we have that tends to protect an outside child than its own, that tends to protect a criminal than the victim?
You know,
like
I think
crime has failed, but
I think you see here the constitution was not actually trying to protect people who are here illegally. That constitution, part of the constitution was trying to protect you as a citizen. But because of people, who are there on the ground as leaders, they start to manipulate. But that's not what the constitution says. The constitution was trying, to protect citizens of this country. But because we've got corrupt leaders, because sometimes of hunger, because they're starving, they are not working, then it becomes a source of income to say, okay, because the constitution says once you occupy a land illegally more than 24 hours, therefore when whoever wants to move you must give you an alternative. You see,
If you start to commit crime within 24 hours, it can be cleared and made something legal after that.
So we need to occupy the land. Anyone who's listening to this, go
land.
occupy that land illegally within 24 hours. It's yours. They can't tell you to move unless they have an alternative for you. What you do with this information, it's up to you.
The problem is here. I think we need to disencourage people. Maybe is as a result of a backlog in terms of building RDP houses. Because when we talk about building houses for people, you talk about the economy, because the economy is not performing, doing well, then it has those contributing factors for such development of building houses to move very slow, But Diepsloot, what I like about Diepsloot? Diepsloot is a community whereby everybody who wants to live in Diepsloot is allowed to come, of which it was not supposed to, to happen. Yeah, it was not supposed to happen, but because people, they wanted money. You see, people disadvantaged. You see, we are a disadvantaged community. We need a source of income. So when you rent a house, not knowing that you are creating problems for future generation, you just think, for what you want, so that you put food on the table. I think it's something that is going to be very difficult, even you as young people, to manage, except to make sure that we close borders. Because we need to be fair and be honest. That borders need to be, closed, so that people, when they come to South Africa, they come here to provide either skills that we do not have as a South African. Because you cannot just come to South Africa because of you are from the neighboring country, not following the laws of that country. That is our biggest mistake, which I think government needs to fix it to move with speed to fix that.
But regarding that, Mr. Scelo, we have measures in place to eradicate that. We always have around here in Diepsloot, we always see those immigration trucks moving around, even standing by the entrances, checking each and every person and all of that. But the main problem that we have, this one it makes me so super mad, is the fact that these policemen, they do find the people that are illegally in our country, right? They find them and then they like, okay, we're taking you guys back home. And then they don't even take them back home. They like, okay, if you don't have the money that we want, they instill the fear within them. There are a lot of people that are staying here who are from foreign countries and they're here illegally. They're even afraid to go to foreways. They're even afraid. That is not normal. That is not nice. Like, you either take this person home, they go fix their papers and they come back legally, or you just decide what you want to do with them, because they can't be having the 1,000 in their pockets every now and then to bribe you. That is so unfair.
And that is
super unfair.
Crime you.
Exactly. That is super unfair.
I'm incongruent with what you're saying. However, I think it's the system, because even if you have committed crime right-handed, I'm totally. I must be honest. I'm vehemently opposing the issue of being corrupt official, but a person who's committed crime has also a right. You see? Now, and that on its own makes it difficult for police, to deal with the issue. That's why we are saying perhaps they need to amend, sections of the law, but the law is clear because it says you are not allowed to migrate to South Africa without having, a passport, and a passport it should indicate how long you should stay in South Africa. But in South Africa, we do not have, officials or a department that look into that to say no. You've been into South Africa, or your days. Official that department we should write a letter to say your days are numbered to be in South Africa. You need to go back to home.
Please tell us about what is this men's forum thing and what do you do within this men's forum?
Men's forum is important because you need to, we are discussing actually on men's forums, meetings or activities, issues of, gender-based, violence, GBV, gender-based violence, because men should protect women and children. We do not want to see men who are unable to protect their children and women. A man must not, fight or hit a woman. If you are a real man, you don't have to rape, and you need at all times to be there and protect either a wife or a woman on the street, and be part of, dealing with the issues that are against women and children. So it's important to encourage men to protect their women and children.
What are some of the men's problems, or let me say, what are some of the challenges that men are faced with that you got to discover throughout this men's forum journey? Probably issues that we don't even know, issues that probably the community don't even get to discuss about.
It's those are known issues. When a man is not working, we'll say not all of them, but there are those who will say no, but let me go and get alcohol. Others, when they get paid at work, they don't buy food for their children and women, for their wives. They just start in a shipping or in a tavern and spend the money there. When that man goes to the house, there will be no food, and then the fight begin there. Yes, and the man will not accept that. You see, and the wife and children, because are hungry, would say, but today I was expecting that you would at least bring something, even if it is so little, because men are not getting, nowadays, people are not getting enough money. So it's one of the contributing factors. Others, this is very tricky. If you have a woman and who does not want to do the right thing, with his men, say no, but I'm always tired, and the men want to do, a night prayer, and
This topic has nothing to do with the prayer.
When you know, you know.
Now, you so those are those are the things that are contributing factors. You see, and let's say for an example, I know my status, and I'm afraid to tell my partner of my status. Then the problem also comments begin there. You see, and now that I got I got a partner somewhere, and I was trying to hide myself with, and now when I go and check my status is changed.
Yeah.
So it will also create, that GPV. When you are a man unable to put food on the table, or you are kakhulu than your family, and it is also a contributing. It's not about that men are so aggressive. Once a man begin to be so aggressive, you should know that there is something behind, which leads to that particular man to behave in such. But of course, women also contribute. They are not able to respect their husband. Because respect in a marriage, you see, if you have taken a decision to marry or to have a partner, there are things that you should then now say, by this time I must be in the house cooking for my husband or my partner, and the husband must be in the house. You see, you don't to be on the ship in the whole day, whereas you've got children and wife.
In closing, Mr. Scelo, there's a question that we ask each and every guest that we have on the show, that moving on from here as an activist, as a leader, what are you holding yourself accountable to do? Could be for you, could be for your family, your loved ones, could be for your community, could be for anyone, anything.
As an activist or a leader, what comes first is people. Well, when I'm at that platform, because when you talk about people, whatever that people want to see or need, it also affects you as a family. Because if abantu are right, people, they are able to put food on the table. For an example, let me start with in Diepsloot. If we have, for an example, a hospital in Diepsloot, or we have enough schools for young people to go to school, we have like we have a maintenance court that will deal with people who are not able to buy food or whatever to maintain. So what comes first is a community development, because I'm not here for myself, but for my generation. My children will be part of the generation to come, because but we need to leave a legacy in everything that we do. However, my family must support me, except if I'm doing wrong things, they are there to support me, to advise me, to say, but this is not what we expect you to do. I must be able to put food on the table, take care of my family as well. But my family should be when it comes to community development, the first, because that is a platform for community to, when we are saying we are catalysts for change, for development, we must make sure that the needs of the people of Diepsloot are ahead and are being addressed appropriately by the sitting government in all three spheres of government, because the issues that will want government to address, some will then be directed to a local sphere of government and the provincial sphere of government and the national. I believe that if you are a leader, you must lead by an example, meaning that you don't push your family in each and every development that comes to. Because if you push your family ahead of the community in front, forgetting that you are there voted by the people and you are there for them. So if there are things that are not going well, you need to go back, because you account to the people that elected you. You see. But I understand, as we are wrapping up, that there are political dynamics. Of the view that to put them together, you need to have a structure like we did before, a community development forum, which led us to have ward committees, because people don't know why we have ward committees today. And it was started here in other areas. They call it community development. They call it, they were using another name. But in Diepsloot, because we started the task team, which led to the development of extension 4, 8, and the houses that you see. It was as a result of that community development forum, which was led then by the chairperson at the time, Betwan Nomavuka, and that forum, all political, representative were sitting. Each organization were then, allowed to send 2 or 3 representatives in that forum, so that whenever we address issues of a community, we don't then play politics, because people don't eat politics. Development is for everyone who is a resident of that particular community. We need to be in a position to say, government, this is what we've tried to do. Meet us halfway, because we had a vision. I'm very outspoken person. We had a vision to say, if we have rooms, like for example, it was important for me to share this. If we have rooms, let's have what we call in Diepsloot, because we wanted the development. We didn't want to see shacks even in our yard. To say, let's have a property development company. And people, because they've got shacks in their yard, let them contribute to that development, property development company. So that when we start building this block, we have the same, design of houses. If we are building flats, the seed must be the same. So that it will then increase the value of Diepsloot. Because having, this type of, rooms and so on, it doesn't necessarily, increase, the value of our community. So, unfortunately, people thought that, this, it will take a lot of money. But in a yard, if you contribute in that development property, because it was going to be easy for us to approach bank banks to say, no, this is what we have. If we've got 500,000, then we approach the bank to say, we are a Diepsloot community development, a property development. This is the money, and they will see it because there would be what we call an account for that property development company. To say, okay, meet us halfway. Government, it was going to be easy, even if they put infrastructure, they know that yes, the economy of that area, it's moving. Business people, the money must circulate within. Thank you so much. Not to have people from other countries and take our economy, because that is why we have a situation today whereby our businesses are being run by people who are not even contributing in terms of paying tax.
Yeah, definitely.
So
it's unfortunately just because we're at the end, but I have many questions for that one you just said, but I'd let it to.
Yeah, you bring lawyers. It should be transparent. When you start that, you must be very transparent, and not people who will then be there because they want money. There's a difference between a leader and those who want money, who behave as leaders. They are not there to develop community, and I wish you also a very, I think you need to grow.
We will definitely. Yeah. We take the blessing.
Local business who have money must then sponsor you.
Yeah,
the government must play a role. Private sector to ensure that we have,
We will go to them, and if they don't give us money, we will come back to you and tell them they didn't give us money. Then
these ones, once they give us money, the day a certain politician come and give us money, you'll see, we'll be saying Mang is a good person. We won't be inviting Boss Mangma because now we'll be captured.
I said we need to have a business forum, a business summit. We don't have to go to business people because of we need to give them our vision, to have a summit and say, here's our vision and mission. Now we need you to come on board so that you empower young people.
Financially. Now already we have brains, and that's why we have.
Not yes. As I've said, business people are important because they need to pop in money. You see, but we can't just go to them all the time when we have or in need of money. We need to have a summit with the surrounding private sectors, business people, and say, this is our vision. You see, and we need to develop a document which speaks to young people. What do you want as young people? We don't have to plan for young people. It's a problem. Young people must plan for their future, for itself. You see, and we need to market their ideas. Yes, you see, because we cannot tell you what you want. You see, that we call it not a bottom up approach, but the top down approach. It's very wrong if you're a leader, because you need to be guided by the masses.
Yeah, they decide what the masses want, which is very wrong. Any last remarks, Lalas?
Yes, definitely today. A lot of them. Unfortunately, it's not one thing.
Keep them short.
Yeah, they're very important. Number one is, I would like to say to people that stay away from drugs. I feel like they are a major contribution to the crimes that we have. Like a lot of people are dying for things that are not even going to change the next person's life. Secondly, please be safe. Make sure that when you look for jobs, you investigate the companies that you're going for. You have to check the reviews on Facebook. You need to check their registrations, Google them, ask about them. At least one person who's working there or somebody who has ever worked there. Number three, don't register any insurance or take any cell phone contract from unverified or unauthorized platform. Make sure that you don't just give out your banking details to people over the phone. Check if you got the information from social media that they have the blue tick of registration and the tick is not gray or black. Number two, you can also use the platforms that they advertise on national television. That's it.
With that being said, from Lalas, Kholo, Mr. Scelo, MySunflower. What do we say after that? And thank you for coming. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes.